everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Crime and Coffee Couple. My name's Allison.
My name's Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, babe. I think we had this conversation where I slapped my knee, and then you have to wait like 2 seconds just so it doesn't look like my hand's on my knee, and then then I could look back at the video of the camera.
Sometimes I forget.
You forgot, and that's okay.
I did.
We scared the shit out of our dog.
I know. She's sleeping next to me, and she leapt up.
Yeah,
she leapt up.
That's for me to do the audio and the video to sync them together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's interesting. Well, you guys can go check it out on our YouTube page.
I'll do better next time, Mike.
Hey, that's all we're going to try to do. That's why we tell the kids, you can actually learn from your failures, and you don't learn anything from your successes. You just learn, oh, I did it. Failures, it's like, oh, I got to do better.
I think you probably still learn a little something from your successes,
Maybe.
like how to do things right.
Maybe.
I mean, that's just what I'm saying.
I mean, hey, either way.
So how are you?
I'm good. It's Friday evening here where we're recording. So when you're listening to this, it'll be Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Or could it even be next Friday? Who knows?
Who knows? It could be 6 months from now. It could be a year from now. One
true.
never knows. Whenever you hit that play button, that's when you're hearing it.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm just happy it's a weekend.
Oh, me too.
I can't believe it's Thanksgiving. I mean, this is a Thanksgiving week episode.
How is it going to be Thanksgiving on Thursday?
I don't know. Like somebody told me like Monday, they're like, so you ready for Thanksgiving? I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like a few weeks away.
We got plenty of time.
Like, no, it's this week. So that's here in America, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works elsewhere.
Hopefully you'll help me with some food prep.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Here in the Pernecki house, we host and pretty much cook everything, the whole thing.
As well it should be, because we're damn good cooks.
Yeah, I think so. And we enjoy it too.
Right.
So I'm not complaining.
I will say, one of my favorite things is probably cooking with you.
Yeah, it is. It's a stress reliever.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm usually the sous chef where I chop up the vegetables and such, and you're kind of like, okay, now go to this and go to this.
And we're doing something creative. We normally have music playing. We're just chit-chatting.
Yeah.
I know the Wednesday before is when I do a great deal of the cooking. I put a lot of my food in like throwaway casserole pans because Lord knows I don't like to do dishes.
No, and it kind of stresses you out when there's a lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
Like just things packing up and yeah.
Well, you make room for Thanksgiving, but Wednesday I will be cooking all day long. And our 11-year-old daughter, and I can say 11 because her birthday was this past week.
Happy birthday, Reese.
Happy birthday, Reese. She helps with like every dish.
Yeah. She's old enough and she's more enough of an interest where she can do that.
And so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's creating those traditions.
And we hope you all have a fabulous and safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, and while you're talking at the Thanksgiving table, why don't you go ahead and mention your favorite true crime podcast?
Pass it along.
Or your 7th favorite, if it's us. So whatever favorite we are of yours, go ahead and mention it.
Exactly.
Yeah, mention the little guys. The murder, my favorite murder, they don't need mentions. Forget them.
They've got so many fans. Throw the little guys a bone.
Yeah, that's us, the little guys here. So Morbid's doing a great job. My favorite murder, great job, all you guys. But we're gonna move up those ranks. And the way that you can help us, if you have listened to about 3 episodes and you've enjoyed them, then like Allison says, it's time to put out and go ahead and put in a review. So
we appreciate it too.
We absolutely do. If you're an Apple user, that is. And speaking of, actually, one of the most recent reviews mentioned that because it was Pennywise. She said, or he or she said, I'm very embarrassed to say that I'm 60 episodes in and I haven't written a review, but I normally listen while putting away my kids' laundry or when they're asleep in the car, so I get sidetracked very easily.
Me too.
I hear you there. I've been listening since the very beginning of the podcast, and I've been listening weekly, which is awesome.
Yeah, we do. Like, we are so grateful for our listeners.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love the beginning where they speak a little about what's going on in their lives. That's what we're doing now. And it's like who's telling the story, and it helps ease you into the episode. Keep doing a great job. I'll forever be a lifelong listener.
Aw, thank you so much.
Thank you. So that's
Pennywise. Ooh.
Yeah, scary.
Spooky.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't live in a sewer or anything.
No, stay away from those sewers.
Yeah, if you enjoy it, then that's more power to you. We like to just kind of start out because it feels weird just going right into a terrible murder story. So
yeah, absolutely. Give some humanity to it. But if my voice sounds a little weird, I apologize because apparently I have the immune system that's non-existent because I'm sick again.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's like you're a newborn baby.
I know. I'm like brand new out of the womb. I have no immunity. And our son was He was sick and sniffling all over the place last week. I knew one of us was bound to get it because Lord knows that kid He doesn't wash his hands, I'm sure.
Oh, speaking of, like we mentioned this on the bonus episode. So I must say, I might toot my own horn, toot if I had one, that the last episode was pretty good by me. So
for Patreon.
Yeah, for the Patreon members. If you want bonus episodes, we do one every other week, and mine was pretty good. So you have to be a tier 2 member to hear it, because it's you get one every other week as a tier 2, every once a month and as a tier 1.
It was fabulous. But before, in the intro of our Patreon, you were like, I literally found a booger on our son's, was it door?
Yeah, it was on his door. So we were going to open the door, and I felt the crusty little nub, and I was like, hey, bud, I found a booger on your door. And he's like, no, that's not a booger. I'm like, okay, so it's green and crusty, and you're just
and you're sick.
You're actively like wiping your boogers on your face right now. So this isn't a booger. Okay, I'm just gonna wash my hands just in case.
I mean, if you're a parent of a 14-year-old or teenage boy, you may as well be living with a gorilla.
Yeah,
is really the way that I see it.
Accurate.
So anyway, I'm sorry if I sound funky, but it's just another sickness.
Yeah, and real quick, I'm sipping on a glass of wine here. So you want to tell our listeners what this is all about? Well,
I know we've mentioned it, but we're doing the whole 100-day not drinking challenge. Just for whatever reason. So it's the holidays, and you like a little wine. So I purchased some non-alcoholic wine from Amazon. And if you look at some of the reviews, if that's something that interests you, if you're just trying to drink less, if you don't drink at all, whatever it may be, a lot of the reviews for the non-alcoholic wines are terrible. And so you're kind of taking a risk to buy something online. But this one had more positive reviews than the previous ones, but it's Ariel Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's $32 for 2 bottles. So
interesting, because you told me $15 a bottle.
Close enough.
That's $16.
Mind your business.
Okay, and I will say, as far as a review, it tastes like grape juice. Concord grape juice, Welch's. I would say for me it does. So
no,
not worth it. In my opinion.
No, when you are drinking this wine, you have to realize that it is non-alcoholic. It is. You're not drinking wine.
Yeah.
To me, I think they did a pretty darn good job.
It does have that wine feel a little bit,
and the smell.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm gonna give it some kudos.
Okay, go ahead. I'm not.
But and if you don't have anything else to add, Mike, we can just dive right in.
I think I'm good.
Okay, the water's perfectly warm.
Yep.
So here we go. So this is a story of Payton Leutner, and she is the survivor of the Slender Man stabbings.
Oh, the Slender Man. Wasn't this requested by multiple people?
This story was actually a suggestion by not only our listener, but our Patreon, ClaraAnne. So thank you. Mike, I have to ask you, do you know this story?
No, I try never to listen to any murder stories. So weird that I have a podcast, but yeah. I know about Slender Man from Roblox, I think it was. So I know, the game that the kids played, and it was this big skinny guy, and he'd come around and try to get you.
Well, you're going to learn a little bit more.
Okay.
So I've only heard this story presented on one podcast, and it was years ago. So, I wasn't super familiar with it either. So this story takes place on May 31st, 2014. I always like to establish a date, in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And one might think that a sleepover involving a few 12-year-old girls would be all fun and games. This one, however, ended in a brutal stabbing.
It's not what you want to hear.
No. So we're going to backtrack a little bit and go back to where this whole Slender Man thing started. So on June 8th, 2009...
it's Minecraft, right? Is that what it is? Minecraft?
It's been on various things.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
On June 8th, 2009, the comedy website Something Awful launched a paranormal pictures Photoshop contest. They asked participants to change ordinary photos into creepy-looking images through digital manipulation. The manipulated photos would then be passed on as legitimate photos on various paranormal forums. The public responded, and thousands of ideas were submitted. There's a lot of creative people out there.
Oh man, I talk about the internet. Like, if you want to feel like inferior to other people, you go to the internet. Like, I thought I was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I go online. I'm like, I would never even think of this. This is hilarious and in every way possible, and it's not even like possible in my brain.
No, when I go on the internet, I'm not funny. Right. I'm certainly not pretty.
Well, you're pretty good. I would kick you out of bed.
But I'm just saying, there's a lot of creative people out there. It's impressive.
Yeah.
So anyway, like I said, the public responded. They have tons of submissions. So on June 10th, one participant named Eric Knudsen, who used the pseudonym Victor Surge, he submitted 2 black and white photos that showed a tall, thin, sinister figure lurking behind a group of children. There was a short description of a mysterious creature who stalked children, and his name was...
Slenderman.
Slenderman. He's tall and thin. He wears a black suit and a blank face. According to the legend, his arms can stretch and shorten, and he has tentacle-like appendages that can come off of his back, and he is often shown standing in the woods.
Okay, so this makes sense why these games would have that exact
creepy
image. Yeah.
So the first time I ever heard of it was with our kids, like you said, and I remember being like, ooh, that is creepy. So it was intended to be a meme, but it inspired a creative outburst, as creepy things especially normally do. And soon, thousands of people were making drawings and sharing stories, mostly depicting him stalking, abducting, and traumatizing people, but more specifically children. That's his target. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to get back into the story. I just wanted to give you a little bit background about this little Slender Man figure.
Good idea.
So each year, Morgan Geyser was allowed to have 2 friends over for her birthday.
Like any other kid, like for instance our kid.
Well, it's actually interesting timing for the story because our 11-year-old daughter is having a sleepover this weekend for her birthday. Granted, these girls are 1 year older, but it's very fitting to my research. Like, it was eerie reading this.
Yeah. Because
this is the situation they were in. So it was May of 2014, and she chose this year Anissa Wire and Payton Leutner. Payton and Morgan had met in 4th grade after Payton noticed Morgan sitting alone and approached her. She knew that Morgan struggled to make friends and said she was sitting there all by herself, and I didn't think anyone should have to sit by themselves. Clearly a very empathetic and sweet girl.
Very kind. A lot of kids just wouldn't care and go on their day.
So Payton described herself as a hopeful and positive person who tried to see the good in people. They became fast friends. They often hung out after school. They played outside. They, drew. They had sleepovers. Very typical things that little girls do. So Payton went by the nickname Bella, and apparently that came through in kindergarten. There were 2 Paytons in the class, and in order to distinguish herself differently, she said, oh, you can call me Bella. Apparently that was her middle name. So if you ever watch some of the interviews with the girls, they referred to Payton as Bella, but I'm going to be referring to her as Payton in the story. So Payton... I'm going to go on here. So while they were friends, Payton noticed that Morgan was a happy girl, but she also seemed a little lonely. She considered her a best friend and someone that she could absolutely trust. She said that Morgan was funny, she had a lot of jokes to tell, and she was great at drawing. She had a big imagination, and she did keep things fun. So all was well in their friendship. They met in 4th grade. As they're entering 6th grade, all of a sudden, a third party comes into the picture. They always say, especially I think girls, 3 is a hard number because somebody at some point is going to be the third wheel.
Yeah, not the favorite. Mm-hmm. Usually 2 of them kind of separate off and giggle and have their inside jokes, and which means that the third one is like, kind of feeling left out. And then, you get the cattiness that comes
It's a hard balance.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when I take my girls' trips, there's 3 of us, and we do great, but of course we're adults. These are children, and it's a tough age. So all of a sudden, Anissa is coming into the picture, and this is when everything started to go downhill. Payton noticed that Anissa and Morgan were very obsessed with Slender Man, and this didn't sit well with her. She wanted to keep the peace in her friendship, so she went along with it, saying that she thought it was odd. She said, it kind of frightened me a little bit, but I went along with it. I was supportive because I thought that's what she liked. The stories did get to Payton, though, and at one point she asked her mom, Stacy, if Slender Man was real. Because, of course, she's a child, you know. And
you go to your parents who you trust, and who can tell you right from wrong, and say, hey, what have you guys heard of this? Is this real? And you can look it up and be like, no, that's a bunch of crap.
And when you're laying in your bedroom at night and you're thinking about this image of Slender Man, who these 2 girls you're often spending time with are describing, who targets children, your imagination's going to run wild and you're going to get scared.
You're one of the targets.
So she was troubled to the point that she truly did consider ending their friendship.
Wow.
So Stacy Leutner, Payton's mom, said Payton was such an empathetic kid. She recognized that Morgan maybe wasn't the healthiest friendship to have, but if Payton wasn't her friend, she wouldn't have any other friends. So she thought that everyone deserved at least one friend.
So Morgan wouldn't have any friends. So that's why she said Payton still hang out with her. So she was more worried that Morgan would be friendless.
Yeah, Payton was worried about Morgan. So she just let the whole Slender Man thing slide. There were times that this was going on that Morgan did guilt Payton into continuing to be friends with her. So as Morgan's fascination with Slender Man grew, so did her friendship with Anissa. They were clearly bonding on the subject. So the two lived in the same apartment complex and they rode the bus to school together every day. Payton said that she did not like Anissa at all and only spent time with her because she knew that Morgan really loved her as a friend. She felt that Anissa was often cruel to her and was likely jealous of the friendship that she shared with Morgan because, of course, they've got 2 years behind their belt as friends, where Anissa's really just coming into the picture now.
Trying to play catch up.
Exactly. So as Morgan's 12th birthday began, the trio went roller skating at a local roller rink. They had frozen yogurt, and then they went into their slumber party. Payton recalls something feeling off that night as she looks back on everything that happened. When Morgan didn't want to stay up all night as she normally did, that struck Payton as odd. And she said, well, I want to go to bed early so that we can go get some sleep and go for a walk in the morning. That was Morgan's excuse that night.
It's usually what you're saying.
Right. That is actually what I'm saying all the time.
More of a 45-year-old thing.
I'm like, Mike, we got to go to bed. We got to take a walk.
I know our daughter, she's always like, I'm going to stay up all nighter.
Yep. I mean, I did too when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So when Payton woke up the next morning, she was alone in Morgan's room. She found that Morgan and Anissa had already gotten up. They had gone downstairs and gotten on the computer. They had donuts for breakfast and they decided to head to the park. It was Morgan's idea to go to the park. Normally, she would have to go with an adult, but her mom felt comfortable that she was with her two friends, so her mom let the girls go by themselves.
Good to give some independence.
Exactly, and they're getting older. Yeah. So when they got to the park, Anissa and Morgan suggested that they go on a walk and play hide and seek in the nearby woods. As they reached the woods and Payton thought they were getting ready to play hide and seek, Anissa told Payton to lay down and cover herself with sticks and leaves so that she could hide. I also read in a couple of stories that they had gone into the park bathroom and Anissa tried to slam Payton's head onto the concrete wall to knock her unconscious.
You would think that would be in more reports
right.
If that was true.
So I didn't read that in consistent reports. So Payton is, just playing along. She's thinking they're playing hide and seek. So she was taking leaves and sticks and covering herself as she was instructed, again, assuming that they're just going to get into a fun game of hide and seek. However, this is the time that, to Payton's horror, Morgan began to repeatedly stab her with a knife that she had brought from home.
Morgan was stabbing Payton?
Yes, as Payton laid on the ground.
Oh my God.
Getting ready to play hide and seek.
Okay.
And Anissa stood nearby watching. When she finished, she and Anissa turned and left her alone to bleed to death. And
that's insane.
Yes.
Let's absorb this situation a little bit. So these three 12-year-old girls are going out here.
6th graders.
Yeah. And just going to go play some hide and seek. They purposely tell Payton to lay down and put leaves and sticks over you to leave her there as a victim so that they can come and stab her. So they had this pre-planned. This is all something that was in their head, why she was saying, let's get up early for a walk. Mm-hmm. They wanted to stab Payton, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What monsters.
So somehow Payton managed to pull herself from the woods and onto a path in hopes that someone would find her. She remembers getting up, grabbing trees for support, and finally she hit an open patch of grass where she just laid down waiting. And she said her vision was coming in and out.
Yeah, because of the blood loss, I'm sure, and stress and shock.
Right. Thankfully, a bicyclist named Greg Steinberg was riding that Saturday morning and discovered Payton at the end of Big Bend Road. And she basically told him, "Can you please help me? I have been stabbed multiple times."
Jeez.
As Greg made the 911 call, Greg could be heard telling Payton in the background, "Honey, help is coming. They'll be here in a flash." And he was offering her water. He seemed like the perfect person to come across her.
Yeah, nice guy.
So when police and EMT workers arrived and placed Payton in the ambulance, again, she said she remembers her vision fading in and out of focus. She also recalls that she felt not an ounce of pain because her body was in such shock.
Sure.
So thankfully at the time she didn't feel anything. So as she arrived at the hospital, she remembers seeing her mom as the nurses counted her wounds. Meanwhile, her mom was absolutely horrified to see her baby girl, who was supposed to be having fun at a 12-year-old birthday party.
Well, first thought has got to be, okay, what kind of sicko came out of the woods and started stabbing my daughter? Let's go find the guy.
Right.
Instead of, let's go talk to Morgan and Anissa because they probably stabbed her. Like, that'd be the last thing on your mind, probably. It'd be like parents, possibly. It'd be anybody, like literally anybody but the two girls she was going to, like, slumber party with.
Right. You're right. It would be the last people you would suspect. So she's watching as her baby girl is covered in stab wounds on her arms, her legs, and her torso.
How big was this knife?
5 inches, the blade. The blade was 5 inches. It was
big.
Yeah, it was a decent sized blade.
Steak knife, basically.
There were 5 wounds to her arm, 7 to her leg, and the rest were scattered around her torso. Some said they amounted to 25. I read in other cases it was 19. Either way,
20-ish.
a lot.
Yeah.
So Payton was taken to the OR emergently as doctors at Pro Health Waukesha Memorial Hospital were shocked by her critical injuries. The wounds to her arms and legs had only damaged soft tissue, while 2 to her torso had hit major organs. So her diaphragm was slashed and her liver and stomach were hits. And her heart had been nearly penetrated, and a major artery was missed by less than a millimeter. According to the surgeon who operated on Payton, he said had the knife gone through farther than the width of a human hair, she would have died.
You hear those things all the time, which you wonder how much truth there is to it.
He was the surgeon that repaired her injuries.
Right.
He was inside.
No, that's very lucky. It's insane how some things work sometimes.
She was like an angel was watching over her or something. So after 6 hours of surgery, Payton began to wake up and immediately worried about where Morgan and Anissa were. She was hoping they had been found and that they were in police custody.
So at this point, she already told everybody that it was them.
Yeah, she did. She told the paramedics.
Okay.
Right away, they said, "Who did this to you?" And she said, "My friend Morgan."
Okay.
So Payton, at this point, while she was like worried for where these girls were, she still has a ventilator going, breathing for her. So she's communicating by writing on a whiteboard.
Good.
So after stabbing Payton, Anissa and Morgan ran through the woods and were apprehended by police 5 miles away near I-94 at a furniture store. They were basically just sitting there. So inside the bag they carried, they found the knife that was used to stab Payton. Police noted that Morgan had zero empathy, though Anissa was voicing feelings of guilt.
Man, talk about a psychopath.
So they told them that they attacked Payton because they believed that the Slender Man was real and that they were going to be his servants, which would keep him from killing their families.
Oh my God. How do you get so deep into something? That's crazy. Man, that's like a good reason to keep in contact with your kids, nieces, nephews, whatever, just to see what's going on in their head.
And what they feel is reality and not.
Yeah, because kids, they have wild imaginations and they actually think there's monsters in places. Like we posted on Instagram, you still think there's a person behind you when you're running up the steps from the basement.
And we're adults. And
yeah.
we get scared by stuff like the boogeyman.
Yeah. But, now it's like kids. It's like, no, we tell our kids there's no such thing. There's never been a history of anybody ever reporting a monster. So there's no monsters.
So when the girls were walking on this 5-mile walk, they were basically walking in the direction of where they thought Slender Man lived and that they were going to come and live with him.
Wow.
So Payton's recovery was extremely difficult, not only emotionally, but also physically too. So she was very scared. She was traumatized. She slept in bed with her mom at night. She didn't want to be alone. And who could blame her?
Sure, because, anytime Morgan and Anissa can come out, or Slender Man, or whatever, she's basically been shown that what you trusted in the past can't be trusted anymore.
Exactly. And then you start to question yourself. like, I trusted these people. What's wrong with my judgment?
Yeah.
To this day, Payton says she sleeps with a pair of broken scissors under her pillow next to her just in case.
Yeah.
So, this is something that's going to be with her forever.
Can't blame her.
So after police had Morgan and Anissa in custody, they immediately confessed to the attack. They told police that they had been planning this for a long time. Morgan came up with the idea toward the end of December / beginning of January. So we're into May, at the end of May, last day of May. So she was basically forming this plan for about 6 months. So she said that they would be proxies for Slender Man, and in order to do that,
She said proxies?
She said the word proxies multiple times.
So there must have been some like, fan fiction or something that must have been written.
They were big into this website called like Creepypasta Wiki. I am clueless about any of that.
Creepypasta is like copy paste stuff that you just put on like forums and stuff.
Okay.
So or like fan fiction and stuff, and a lot of people put the same thing in other places to make it spread, and yeah.
So they specifically said, and I was watching Anissa's interview with a detective, and she kept using the word proxy. So in order to be the Slender Man's proxies, they would have to kill Payton. And they had actually planned to murder Payton during their sleepover, but they changed their plans because they were tired from roller skating. They were going to put duct tape over her mouth and stab her in the neck.
Like while she slept? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. So that's why they were saying, let's go to sleep early.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think at that point they made the decision that they were going to postpone it to the next day.
Thank God they didn't do that.
Mm-hmm. So Morgan took the knife from her kitchen. She brought it with her to the park. Initially, Anissa was going to do the stabbing, but she changed her mind and she told the detective that she was just too squeamish to do so.
Yeah, you poor thing.
Now, when you watch the interviews, you can see that, Anissa is sniffling and things like that. Morgan, nothing.
Still.
Nothing.
Wow.
The detective was coming into the room and Morgan was like, "Is Payton dead?" And he goes, "I don't know." And she goes, "I was just wondering." Just like that.
About her day. It's like, how's the weather outside?
So Morgan told Anissa to give her the go-ahead when it was time to attack Payton. As they played hide and seek, they had little code words for each other. So Morgan was Kitty and Anissa was Scorpion. So it was Anissa's job to give her the go-ahead by saying, "Kitty, now." And that was when Morgan was going to jump into action and begin to attack Payton.
Those are secret code names for when it was going to happen.
Yes. So, of course, Payton is laying down in the woods. She's beginning to cover herself with the sticks and leaves. This is the point that Anissa shouts out, "Kitty, now." And this is what prompts Morgan to jump on top of Payton. And when the detective was interviewing her, he was like, "How many times did you stab her?" She's like, "I don't know. It just kind of felt like air," as she's like making stabbing motions. Yeah. She's like, "It kind of just felt like nothing. I don't know."
So just like, I don't know how many times I connected, but a lot. It was a lot.
So Anissa said that Payton was screaming out in agony, and the last thing that she said to them was, "I trusted you. I hate you." Though she continued to repeat after this, "I can't see. I can't see." The girls told Payton that they would get her help, and they both told the detectives, "When we told Payton that, we knew we weren't going to." What
psychopaths? I mean, even this Anissa, like that, she was like so desperate to try to be friends with Morgan that she would just do whatever. And I mean, Morgan must have had a very strong way about her, for Anissa to be able to follow this. Because obviously Morgan's the complete psychopath in this whole thing.
She is the 100% ringleader, and detectives immediately could identify that.
Yeah.
And just the way she told the detective in the interview, she's like, it was a great plan. It was flawless. And that's how she spoke, just like very whimsical. It was flawless.
Wow.
And the detective, meanwhile, who's interviewing her, has a daughter that's around that age.
Oh, geez. So he's like, you're gonna get the maximum penalty.
He's putting himself like right in her shoes, or like that. This could have been my daughter.
I mean, this chick Morgan has no hope of ever being a normal human being. Basically,
I guess her parents kind of saw very, very early on that she lacked empathy. So it was 2002, which would have made her, she's turning 12. So she would have been young. That she was watching Bambi, and they were fearful of showing her Bambi because they were afraid when the mother died that it would really affect her.
Spoiler alert.
And they said that she was not.
Like,
all she said was like, run, Bambi, save yourself. So they were like, kind of like, huh.
Yeah, where it pretty much ruins most children's younger lives. We're like, oh, why'd you show me Bambi? Why'd you think that was a good idea when I was 5 to show me a mother deer getting shot?
So in 2016, Morgan's mom told a newspaper that her daughter had been diagnosed with early onset schizophrenia while she was in custody.
Makes complete sense.
And
any drugs that she's on at all?
So it took a while for her to get diagnosed because I guess she wasn't being seen by a mental health therapist through all the like trials and whatnot. So I guess she was in a pretty bad way. She was like hallucinating. She was talking to things that weren't there.
I mean, that's terrible.
It is terrible. And they say early onset because she'd only just turned 12, which is much earlier than the typical diagnosis.
Yeah.
So her mom did say in one of the things I read that once she did get on a medication, it was like a whole other person. So
Meaning like better?
Better, yes.
Okay. So she was on medication at the time.
Yes.
Huh.
No, I mean, not at the time that this happened. No. They didn't know anything about
After.
it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this was 2016. This is...
I'm not listening to years, sorry.
This is 2 years after the stabbing.
Got it.
She was diagnosed. It wasn't immediately, though, when like all this went down. It took time for her to be seen by the right person and whatnot. So during a 2015 hearing, a forensic psychologist testified for the defense that Morgan's father had been hospitalized multiple times as a teenager. He himself had mental illness. So Stacy, Payton's mom, remembers feeling angry at Morgan's parents, knowing that Morgan's dad had schizophrenia. For a long time, she felt that there must have been things that they could see that were going on and that they had been in denial and that they had been ignoring their daughter's symptoms, that had they addressed them, her daughter would not have been stabbed 19 to 20 plus times.
Yeah, 100% no doubt about it. So terrible parenting on the part of Morgan's parents.
I mean, I watched both of their parents in interviews. I mean, it's a tragic thing regardless.
As Stacy, Payton's mom, you're obviously, trying to like blame anybody you can because your baby's been stabbed and it shouldn't have happened. And at the same time, somebody who has schizophrenia at 12 years old, you probably have an indication somewhere.
You're at least seeing some things that it's like your head scratching your head like, something's not right here. Stacy did, however, her anger subsided as she realized that they themselves were going through their own kind of hell. Sure. And they were. Yeah. The day that all this happened, they were only told that one of the girls was hurt. So the parents did not even know which one. They don't know what's happening.
You would think so. They just didn't tell them if it was their daughter or not?
Not initially.
Okay.
So, I feel for all involved in this. This is a very unfortunate thing.
I feel the worst for the mom who had her daughter stabbed.
No, of course.
I'll say that much.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I don't think that trumps anybody else. I would, tough shit. I mean, yeah, and I get it. If our kid stabbed somebody, I'd feel terrible. I would hope that these parents feel terrible. I know they do. I mean,
they absolutely do.
Then they should.
I mean, when you say that Payton was literally a hair's length away or width away from being dead, I mean, that's just unbelievable. I mean, she could have easily died that day.
And hindsight's 20/20. Obviously, yeah. Would your Morgan's family wish they can go back and see some things? Yeah, of course.
They would change it in a second. So because of the gruesome nature of the attack, Morgan and Anissa were charged in adult court versus juvenile.
Both of them.
Mm-hmm. So they were charged with first-degree attempted intentional homicide after the attack. Anissa pleaded guilty to a lesser charge and was found not guilty by a jury by mental disease or defect in 2017. Morgan pleaded guilty to the first-degree charges in 2018, the following year. So, as part of her plea agreement with the prosecutors, Morgan was convicted but found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, which I think we all expected to be the case.
Yeah.
And Anissa was sentenced to up to 25 years, Morgan up to 40 years in a mental health institution. So,
wait, both in the mental health institution or just Morgan?
No, both.
Oh, wow.
So Anissa was sentenced to 25, Morgan to 40. Anissa Weier was released from her mental facility on Monday, September 13th 2021, less than 4 years after her sentencing. And again, it always comes down to, they said like 25 years. She didn't even serve 4.
Yeah, like I kind of agree because she made a really horrible mistake as a kid, you know, and she was very easily influenced. And, you know, I don't know about her whole situation and story to be able to allow this to happen, but you're still a little kid that, you know, you want to make a friend. You know, if they originally said 5 years, that would make sense. But like you said, why say 25?
Why say 25?
And then 4? That's
so
stupid.
Because it's a mental health institution, they're going off like obviously the doctor's reports and recommendations and things like that. So Judge Michael Boren ruled that she no longer possesses a threat and she has been released to live with her dad under 24/7 GPS monitoring, and she is not allowed to have any contact whatsoever with Payton until the year 2039. I guess by law, she cannot have any sort of contact or interaction with Payton.
I'd say that's fair.
Until 2039.
I mean, at the same time, she probably wants to send a letter and apologize, I would say.
Perhaps, but that's too bad.
Okay.
Payton's family was in court during this, you know, time that the judge ruled that she was safe to leave. They did not object to the terms. They did express that they were disappointed that she was being released early. They wish she had served a longer sentence. So every 6 months, Morgan is able to request a conditional discharge from the hospital if the facility staff approves.
Wow.
So
for the next 40 years, she can request one
apparently
every 6 months?
so. Okay. Yes. So she's still out there, obviously.
The only way she's going to make it out is if they give her plenty of meds and then she tests out of it. But then she's going to go right back and she's going to stop taking her meds and things are going to happen.
I mean, hopefully there's hope for people who have mental diseases that they will stay on their medication and live a normal life. I mean, that's the goal. So when Payton was interviewed in 2019, she's age 17 at that point, Payton said that she never, ever wants to see or interact with either girl ever again. And, you know, it sounds like she doesn't want to open that book. She doesn't want an apology letter. She doesn't want any contact.
Oh, no, I don't blame her. Like,
hell no.
You know, it's up to you whether you want to, you know, forgive them for their whatever they did. But, I mean, receiving a letter from Anissa or Morgan would only serve Anissa or Morgan.
Exactly. If it's only going to open these wounds that Payton literally sustained, then no, absolutely not. Because like you said, it's only benefiting Morgan and Anissa if that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah, Payton should be the one calling the shots.
100%.
So that makes sense.
So they asked her during this interview what she would tell Morgan if she could say something to her. And she said, I would probably initially thank her. I would say, just because of what she did, I have the life I have now. I really, really like it, and I have a plan. I didn't have a plan when I was 12, and now I do because of everything that I went through. At that time, she planned to attend college in the fall of 2020 with a focus on having a career in the medical field. And Payton urges parents to talk to their kids who might not understand the difference, like we said, between what is real and what is fictional.
Yeah.
And she also urges young people to end any friendships that aren't healthy for them. You have no obligation to continue a friendship that you feel isn't serving you.
Yeah, whether you're young or old. That's,
exactly.
Very true. If you feel like it's somebody that you hang out with makes you a worse person, then cut them out of your life as soon as you can.
100%.
Maybe not just ghost them, but just hang out with them less. You know, they get the idea eventually. Just say, you know, I'm busy tonight, or no, I can't do that. Sorry. You know, some other time.
Yeah.
Some other form of that.
I think kids have a harder time because they've just been friends. It's just like, it's like a habit. This is just who I hang out with. So I went through a similar situation when I was a kid. I had a friend from the time I was in elementary school through high school that was exceptionally toxic. When I was a heavier kid, she called me fat and mooed at me. When I got thin, because I became anorexic, probably with some help from, you know, being called a fat cow all the time.
Not just her, other people.
No,
too.
not just her, but kids could be mean. But then she was jealous that I was thin at that point. Like, she was never happy if anything was going well for me. And I remember when I hit like 17, 18, that's when you and I were already dating for a year or two.
The best time of your life.
And I was like, I told her one day at school, I said, I do not want you in my life any longer. Best of luck to ya.
Yeah, I remember her.
Bye-bye.
I remember her very well. She was very upset, like tried to break us up a few times.
Oh, multiple times. She said, everyone's going to hate me because I've cut everyone out of my life because I'm dating Mike. It's like, no, I haven't cut anyone out of my life, but thank you.
Right.
So anyway, that's the story.
Wow. Crazy story. I was curious about it. The kids talk about it. Like we talked to our son, like, the Slender Man story? He's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I asked him yesterday.
Yeah. Well, Payton, I'm so glad she survived. I didn't know that she survived. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Like you were like, once you were saying, well, what Payton said, I'm like, oh, sweet. So she's still alive.
Absolutely. Thank God.
These are my favorite type of stories.
Yes.
At least, I know she's going to have mental anguish her whole life, and that sucks.
But it sounds like she's taking this as like, I am a survivor and I lived for a reason.
Well, that's pretty ballsy to, say thank you to your attempted murderer. And, she was young at the time, Morgan, and obviously, some mental problems.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, man, that's Payton, Bella, you're a strong person.
Strong girl.
Yeah, I hope you do a lot of great things in your life if you ever listen to this. But, speaking of people that are doing great things in their life.
Are you speaking of our patrons?
Sure am. How'd you know?
I just love those people.
Yep. So if you'd like bonus episodes, we do them every other week. So if you're a tier 2 person, you get every single one. And if you're tier 1, you get it once a month. And then tier 3 is just, if you have tons of money, you want to, send us a little extra something. So I want to say thank you to all of our patrons, including Colleen, Lily, Karen, Nadine, Allie, Michael, Kayla, Dominic, Brian, Shannon, Elizabeth, Mandy, Alana, Vivian, Trisha, Lauren, Megan, Jamie Beth, Chastity, Genevieve, ClaraAnne, who gave us this idea.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Emily, Kathy, Ava, Jovi, Eileen, Misty, Rochelle, Destiny, Ellie, and Sherry. That's a good list. Mm-hmm. Those are all fantastic names. Like if I had to name another kid that came out of
we'd
your
pick
womb,
one out of a hat.
One of those would definitely be one of them because they're all wonderful names. So thank you all for your help. We didn't expect that. We're growing very quickly. And if you can tell some people, like we said, Thanksgiving dinner, then, it's not the worst thing you could do.
But we do appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah.
And like we said in the beginning, we're wishing you all a very safe and happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you can have some wonderful time with your families. Maybe a little downtime.
Or even by yourself, just chilling out.
Whatever makes you happy. Put up your Christmas tree maybe, or whatever you're celebrating.
Read
just
a book.
Enjoy.
Yeah, relax a little bit. Mm-hmm. All right, until next time.
Bye.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.